Folks out there want the services they're receiving. I think if you look at the entire state population, we're going to have a really difficult time justifying social service cuts, and the costs of doing that, if not faced this year, faced in the coming years as services go away, are going to be much higher than the short-term savings we'd receive. I think that those are short-sighted decisions, and we need to plan for the long term. Sure. Well, in the last couple of years, as we faced the economic situation we were in, Senator Berkey's record does strike me as one that's chosen out-of-state interests over the interests of Washington residents. She voted to decrease unemployment benefits. She voted to cut funding for public education, both K through 12 and higher education. And as I said, she voted to significantly weaken I-937, which provides significant environmental protection to our state and our region, but also had the opportunity to create a lot of great jobs in the private sector. We need to be focused first and foremost at a philosophical level on what's best for Washington residents. And it strikes me that Senator Berkey's voting record has not taken that into account as its first priority.
Are there specific issues on which you aren't necessarily in line with the Democratic Party platform, generally?
I don't have specific examples, but I would say with regard to the Senate Democratic Caucus, there has not been leadership, in particular in Snohomish County and the 38th Legislative District, on issues related to education, issues related to the environment. Those are issues that I think are core platform issues for the Democratic Party, but ones that I don't see the caucus taking a very proactive position on and taking a real leadership. Talking points about mortgage access are great, and I think we want to make sure that young families, young people, and old people alike have access to affordable and predictable mortgages, and that education's available to make sure that people are getting into mortgages that they can afford and that are going to be sustainable for the long term. But we have, in Snohomish County in particular, and the 38th Legislative District, we have a lot of low and middle income families that don't reach that 140% of median income threshold. That's where the real housing need is. We have people who not only can't afford to own a home, but in many cases can't afford to rent a home, and in some cases don't have access to any housing at all. And while it's great to talk about mortgage access, I think the real discussion from the state's perspective needs to be around making sure that first and foremost, all people have access to some form of safe and secure affordable housing. We've heard countless criticisms of both unions and public employees who are perceived to receive high wages, high benefit packages that the private sector can't compete with. I met with a gentleman just the other day when meeting with the Washington Federation of State Employees. This gentleman, Kevin, father of 2, family of 4, state employee. When you factor in his deductible, his premiums, and his co-pays to care for his children and his wife, they're spending nearly 30% of their income a year on health care. To me, that is not a bloated or overly generous health benefits package. The private sector shouldn't be frustrated with union employees and with public workers who are demanding reasonable benefits and living wages. The private sector should be demanding that they get the same.